All right. The name is DelMan, aka Four Eyes, the Ugly Professor, doing a review for the new Raekwon the Chef, the Emperor's New Clothes. This review is done on behalf of Old Heads Network. All right, I meant to do this review a week ago, but life was lifing, and I didn't get a chance to do the review on the weekend that I had planned to. So I'm late with this review, but that just gave me an opportunity to listen to it more, digest it, and get a better view of what I actually thought of the album. I'm just gonna say off the top, Raekwon, the Chef, is in my top 10 rappers of all time. I know he might not be in many people's top 10. I'm pretty sure he's in a lot of people's top 20, top 30, 40, 50, so on and so forth, but probably not in their top 10. And it's all on how do you rate these artists? What's your criteria? What do you find most important when it comes to how you rank certain artists? Like for me, I weigh their discography and catalog very heavy when it comes to my rating and how I put folks in my top 10. And they got to be able to rap their ass off. They got to be able to be a high level rap artist as far as their lyrics goes to be in my top 10. And I feel that Ray meets that criteria, so to speak. You know, people might judge artists more so on how many hits they got, they sales, you know, their influence, impact, all that good shit. But that's lower down on my list. I'm not saying that shit doesn't matter, but it matters less to me when I'm rating artists. And Ray has a discography that's solo and group because he's in the Wu-Tang Clan. So that's part of his discography, the group shit. So with that said, he has 8 solo joints. Then he has the Wu-Tang albums. How many of the albums they have, I can't think of how many albums they got off the top, but and so he has one bona fide classic as a solo artist and one bona fide classic as a member of the Wu-Tang Clan. And he's a significant member of the Wu-Tang Clan. He was a significant part of that album, Into the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers, which came out in 1993. He wasn't like Master Killer with just one verse. He was all over that joint for the most part. So that goes in his toolbox. That's something he can say I have. And he has the Built for Cuban Links joint, which is considered a classic by many, considered one of the best hip hop albums by many folks. And then he got his borderline classic joints like Wu-Tang's second album, Wu-Tang Forever. That's borderline classic. Then Built for Cuban Links Part 2 is a borderline classic, in my opinion. And then he has his good albums, such as Shaolin versus Wu-Tang. That's a good album, slept on. The Wild, which was his last album previously before this new album dropped. That was a good slept on album, underrated album. And then he has the Wu Massacre joint, which was a group album with just him, Ray, Ghostface, Killer, and Method Man. They had formed a 3-man group, and the joint was called Wu Massacre, and that album was good. Slept on. You don't hear people talk about it. Rarely gets mentioned when you talking about the albums that these niggas have done in the Wu-Tang. That joint, I never hear that joint mentioned, but that was a good album. So that's part of his discography. So he has his good joints outweigh his bad joints. Now he has the one bad album, Immobilarity, which was bad. You got to be honest about it. You know, I had a few songs on it I like Live from New York was my joint, along with a few other songs. But overall, that wasn't a good album. Then he got his 2 just okay albums. You know, the Lex Diamond Story was just okay, and I believe it's called Fly International Luxury joint. That album was just okay. But, and you know, some of the Wu-Tang albums wasn't good either. But I feel his good to great to very good albums, or however you want to say it, outweighs his mid to bad albums, or bad to mid albums, should I say. So with this new album, I like every song with the exception of one. I'll get into that later about that one song that I don't care for. And I don't care for the skits. I felt the skits fucked up the flow of the album. I didn't find them funny or interesting. I didn't feel they was needed. Someone might think different. They might thought them skits enhanced the project, but I think he could have done away with them skits. The intro is cool. I like the intro. So the first song, should I say, after the intro is Bear Hill, which is produced by Frank G. I really dig this song. He has a music video for it. I really didn't care for the video. And that's not based on how the video was made. I just feel how the video was made doesn't fit Ray personas. It doesn't fit what he is or what we know him to be. It felt like I was watching a Busta Rhymes video. It was like Ray's like a werewolf in the 1800s or some shit like that. And I just felt it didn't fit him. I felt it just didn't work for his persona. But some of my folks, they felt different. They liked the joint. They thought it was cool. So maybe I'm in the minority with that. But I didn't care for the video, but love the song. And then you got another song called Pomegranate, I believe. What's that? Whatever it's called. I forgot the title of it. Didn't write all the titles down. But that's featuring Inspector Deck. And someone named, I believe, Carlton Fish, I believe, featuring those two folks. And then produced by Amadeus Trilogy, I believe that's the person's name. That's a good joint. Then you got Wild Corsicans featuring Westside Gun, Conway the Machine, and Benny the Butcher. You know, he doing the joint with Griselda that only makes sense. It's produced by Snipe Beats. One of my favorite songs on the album. Then you got another song called One Life, which I didn't care for at first. But more listens, it grew on me. Now I like the song. It's produced by Justice League. You know, they used to do a lot of production for Rick Ross. I dig that joint now. It has some female on there singing. She does a good job. I forgot her name. And then you got another joint called Open Doors, produced by Rose Arts. I dig that joint. Another song called 600 School, featuring Ghostface Killer and Method Man, produced by Swiss Beats. I really dig this joint. I'm starting to like Swiss Beats production more in recent years. Like back in the day, he was very hit or miss, and more so miss for me. I really didn't like the Casio type shit he used to do back in the day, but I really been feeling this production of the last like 5 years or so or more. So I dig that joint. Then you got another joint called The Guy That Plans It. I think this is a story joint, if I'm not mistaken. I like it. Produced by Rose Art. And then you got another joint called, I believe it's called The Heavens, if I'm not mistaken. I dig that joint. Another song that's featuring Nas. I forgot the title of the joint, but it's produced by Nas. And going into this project, I heard Nas was doing some production. And I was like, I hope it ain't just one song, and it ended up just being one song. And it's this song that's featuring Nas. Nas does his thing. You know, it's been going around the web and social media that Nas changed his verse. The original verse got leaked. And some like little controversy if he changed it because he didn't want people to think that he was going at Jim Jones. And I think Ray did a live on one of the social media joints and said that he been wrote that joint way before all this Jim Jones is more relevant than Nas and better than Nas shit came about. So that's that song. But I like the verse that's on there. It's on the actual album. So Nas been doing this thing as far as features goes as of late. So he probably gonna be featured on all these Mass Appeal joints with the legends. I'm guessing maybe not the De La Soul joint. It'd be nice if he'd be featured on the De La Soul joint that's coming out, but I can't see it. But that would be nice. But then you got another joint called Get Out of Here, featuring Ghostface Killer, produced by Frank G. Then you got I like that joint. That joint is nice. like I said, I like everything for the exception of one song. Then he got another song that ends the album, ends the project, called Mac and Lobster, featuring Ghostface Killer again, produced by Frank G and Rose Arts. Another one of my favorite joints. I felt this album had just enough Ghostface. I was wondering, were we going to get a lot of Ghostface like Cuban Links, the first Cuban Links, or was it going to be maybe just one feature or two? We got three, so I thought that was just enough. You know, Ray's going to be featured on Ghost's new album that's coming out in the near future. So Supreme Clientele Part 2, that's coming out pretty soon, from what I heard and from what I see on social media. Like the only song I didn't care for was called Deborah Night Wine. I believe that's the name of the joint, featuring Marsha Ambrosia. And I like Marsha Ambrosia. I usually like Marsha Ambrosia singing on folks' hooks and choruses and shit, but I didn't care for this song. It didn't grow on me with, you know, with the extra listens I got to the joint before I did a review. So that's the one song I'll be skipping. But it's not a bad song. It's just not for me. I just don't care for it. And you know, Ray lyrics, you know, his subject matter is like luxury street shit. You know, it's the typical Ray shooting his darts, talking his shit. You know, I like Ray. I like Ray's flow and his wordplay. He still got it. No question about that. The production was nice. You know, some of these guys is producing the joint, or some of these folks that's producing some of these songs on these albums I was not familiar with, but they did a good job. The production is nice. And also, when it comes to, I forgot, also when it comes to Ray catalog, they also got them Wu-Tang like collaboration album projects that he tends to be all over. They just put out one earlier this year that I reviewed. You can find that on YouTube somewhere on the Old Heads channel. I forgot the Bastard Swordsman joint that came out earlier this year. Ray is pretty. He got a share of verses on that joint. He not just on like one or two songs. He's on there fairly. He has some fairly mic time, fairly good mic time on that album. So that's part of his catalog too. He got an extensive catalog, man. Top 10, I'm telling you. Ray is in the top 10. Y'all got to start thinking about that if y'all haven't. So I'm going to give this album a B+, a strong B+. I was thinking A-. I might bump it up to A-. I don't know. But for now, I'm going to give it a strong B+. It's just teetering on that A- grade. But I'm going to give it a strong B+. Like I said, I mean, maybe if he had them skits on there, it probably would be an A- for me. But them skits kind of slow the process down for me, the progress down, should I say. And I want to promote this album from Utopian Nights called Deity. I hope I got that title right. Here's the vinyl for it. I got the vinyl for it. Deity, Utopian Nights. Great album, one of the best albums this year. It's on the streaming services, most of the streaming services if you want to get in streaming. But I got the physical media. I got even the CD for it. I hope I got the CD right here. The CD for it. Got two different album covers, but it's for the same album. So don't get it confused. Two different albums covers, art covers for the album. You know, the vinyl and the CD, but it's for the same album. So get that Utopian Nights Deity album. Great album. The production, the beats are insane. Shouts out to all the producers who did production on the joint. Wiz One, Dimes, Speaks Beats, Schizo, all of them, man. Y'all did a great job. Utopian Nights, the nigga Sutter Kane, he can rap his ass off. You got the DJ Phobia, and it's on some grown man shit, but they also got the bars on it too. If you want the bar work, you want niggas talking they shit, spitting they shit. So you got the grown up, thought-provoking material also along with the bar work. So get that joint, Utopian Nights Deity. I'm out. I'm done. I'm finished. Subscribe, like, and all that good shit. Look,
mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine. Elevate your mind with high quality THC infused products. BlackYeti.com. Black-Yeti.com.
CLB.